Hey guys, and welcome to another Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile. Today we are showcasing Yugi Muto's virtual world deck profile coming up. So let's get straight into this virtual world deck profile of Yugi, shall we? We'll start off, of course, with the iconic Dark Magician. Dark Magician has 2500 attack, 2100 defense, 7-star spellcaster monster, the ultimate wizard in terms of attack and defense. Next up, we run one copy of the Dark Magician Girl. Dark Magician Girl, 2000 attack, 1700 defense, gains 300 attack for every Dark Magician or Magician of Black Chaos in the graveyard. Next up, we run one copy of the Dark Magician Knight. So Dark Magician Knight is a warrior effect monster with 2500 attack, 2100 defense with the effect cannot be normal summon / set, must be special summoned with Knight's title, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. When this card is special summoned, target one card on the field, destroy that target. So pretty useful card. It's not really much of a gain in terms of attack and defense compared to the original Dark Magician, but it's got quite a useful effect if you can get it out, if you know what I mean. Next up, we run one copy of Des Volsgraf. So it's a dragon effect monster with 2200 attack, 1700 defense. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Each time a normal or quick play spell card resolves, this card gains 200 attack till the end of the turn. So it's got a couple of useful effects there. Next up, we run one copy of Berthamont. A Fiend / effect monster with 1400 attack, 1800 defense. When this card is normal or flip summoned, you can add one Gazelle, the King of Mythical Beasts, from your deck to your hand. So it's kind of useful when you summon this card. You get another 4-star monster in your hand, so at least you've got something else to play the following turn if you don't have any other monsters. Next up, we run one copy of the Swift Gaia the Fierce Knight. 2300 attack, 2100 defense. Warrior / effect monster. If this is the only card in your hand, you can normal summon this without tributing. So you're probably not likely to have no cards in your hand unless you start top decking for this. So that's only a useful effect if you're top decking, if you know what I mean. Next up, we run one copy of the Curse of Dragon. So Curse of Dragon has 2000 attack, 1500 defense. Run one copy of Buster Blader. Buster Blader is a pretty cool card. 2600 attack, 2300 defense. Warrior / effect monster. This card gains 500 attack for each dragon type monster your opponent controls whereas in the graveyard. So it's useful if you're taking on, say, a Kyber deck. Usually has a lot of dragons. Next up, we run one copy of the Red Eyes Black Dragon. So Red Eyes Black Dragon has 2400 attack and 2000 defense. We run one copy of the Mirage Knight, which was seen later on in the Virtual World arc. Warrior / effect monster with 2800 attack and 2000 defense with the effect. Cannot be normal summon / set, must be special summoned by Dark Flare Knight, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. During damage calculation only, this card gains attack equal to the original attack of the opponent's monster if it is battling. During the end phase of a turn, this card was attacked, banish this card. So it's kind of a very hard card to summon in this deck in particular, and it's got a pretty average condition towards the end there, but it's pretty cool, and I remember this card so well from the duel in the Virtual World arc. Next up, we run one copy of Alpha the Magnet Warrior. He's got 1400 attack, 1700 defense. We run one copy of Beta the Magnet Warrior. Beta has 1700 attack, 1600 defense. And we run Gamma the Magnet Warrior. So Gamma has 1500 attack and 1800 defense. Of course, we were talking about this guy before, Gazelle, the King of Mythical Beasts. It can be added to the hand if you tribute summon or flip summon Berthamont. So it's got 1500 attack and 1200 defense. So we're going through some very iconic monsters here. It's bringing back a bit of nostalgia, I hope. We run one copy of the Mystical Elf. Mystical Elf has 800 attack and 2000 defense. Very useful defense card. Next up, we run the 4-starred Ladybug of Doom. This card is very useful against 4-star monsters if it's face down. It's an insect effect monster with 800 attack, 1200 defense. When you flip this card up, it destroys all face-up level 4 monsters your opponent controls. So that's pretty amazing, that card, against 4-star monsters. Of course, we run one copy of Big Shield Gardener. Big Shield Gardener has 100 attack and 2600 defense, warrior / effect monster. During either player's turn, when this face-down card is targeted by a spell card, change this card to face-up defense position, and if you do, negate the spell card's activation. If this card is attacked, change it to attack position at the end of the damage step. So if there's 2 monsters on the field and one attacks in the Big Shield Gardener, this is flipped to attack position, well, swap to attack position, and the other one can wipe it out. It's useful to sort of block one attack, if you know what I mean. Probably using that phrase too often too. Next up, of course, we run Karibo. Karibo was a deck master in Yugi's first duel in the Virtual World arc. 300 attack, 200 defense. Fiend / effect monster. During your opponent's turn at damage calculation, you can discard this card. You take no battle damage from the battle, and this is a quick effect. So there's actually 2 deck masters in Yugi's deck. Can you name the other one? The other deck master was used by another character in another Virtual World duel. Wing Dragon, Guardian of the Fortress 1. Dragon monster with 1400 attack, 1200 defense. We run Obnoxious Celtic Guard. 1400 attack, 1200 defense. Useful effect, cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster that has 1900 or more attack. We run one copy of the Rock Spirit. So since Yugi's got a few rock monsters, it's a very useful card to add to the deck. It's got 1700 attack, 1000 defense. Cannot be normal summon / set. Must be first special summon from your hand by banishing one earth monster from your graveyard. Yugi's got a few earth monsters. Gains 300 attack during your opponent's battle phase only. And next up, we run one copy of Sangan. Sangan is a 1000 attack, 600 defense, fiend effect monster. So if this card gets destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can add one monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck to your hand. And you only can use the effect of Sangan once per turn. So it's a very useful card for searching other Yugi monsters. And he's got quite a few of them under 1500 attack. So we're up to the ritual monsters now, guys. We run 2 of them in our deck. I run one copy of Magician of Black Chaos, 2800 attack, 2600 defense. Love the artwork on this card. It's one of my favourite cards of all time. And we run one copy of the Blackluster Soldier as well. Just give Yugi that little bit extra power in this Virtual World deck. Warrior monster, 3000 attack and 2500 defense. Okay, we'll move to Yugi's extra deck now. Yugi runs, I'm going to run a copy of Flame Swordsman in that deck. 1800 attack and 1600 defense. We run one copy of the Dark Flare Knight. So that's a fusion between Dark Magician and Flame Swordsman. Of course, we saw that in the Virtual World arc. So it's got 2200 attack and 800 defense. You take no battle damage from battles involving this card. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, special summon one Mirage Knight from your hand or deck. And to round off the extra deck, guys, we run one copy of Chimera, the Flying Mythical Beast. 2100 attack and 1800 defense. Useful effect too. We'll quickly go over that as well. And obviously the fusions between Gazelle, the King of Mythical Beasts, and Berthament. So this card is always treated as a Phantom Beast card, which we're not worried about. When this card is destroyed, you can target one Berthament, one Gazelle, the King of Mythical Beast, in your graveyard, special summon that target. Rightio guys, to the spell cards now. We run one copy of D-Spell. So D-Spell destroys one spell card on the field. If this card's target is face down, flip it face up. So you get the useful look at the opponent's face down card, even if it's a trap. and it destroys a spell card if it's face down anyway, so that's a useful card, D-Spell. Of course, I run one copy of the Black Luster Ritual. So Black Luster Ritual is obviously to ritual summon the Black Luster Soldier, and you need to have levels of 8 or more to tribute for the soldier. We run one copy of the iconic Swords of Revealing Light. Flips all your opponent's monsters face up. This card remains on the field for 3 of your opponent's turns. While this card is face up on the field, monsters your opponent controls cannot declare an attack. So it's a good stall option. We run one copy of Exchange. So Exchange is both players reveal their hands and add one card from each other's hand or their hand. So kind of useful to have a look, grab something useful for yourself, but the only downside is they get to take one of your cards. So you try to deplete your hand, if you know what I mean, give them really nothing to take. We run one copy of the Card Destruction. So if you need to reset your hand, obviously both you and your opponent discard your whole hand and draw cards to the amount they had in their hand. We run one copy of Monster Reborn. So Monster Reborn is pretty obvious. You can target one monster in either player's graveyard, special summon it. We run one copy of Graceful Charity. So Graceful Charity draws 3 cards from your deck, then discard 2 cards from your hand. We run the Pot of Greed. Draw 2 cards. We run one copy of Black Magic Ritual. This card is used to ritual summon Magician of Black House, the other ritual monster in our deck, and also needs 8 stars or more tributed to get it onto the field. We run 2 copies of Polymerization. Obviously, we've got a few fusion monsters, so we need a couple of polymerizations in our deck. And of course, to round out the spell cards, guys, we have to run one copy of Knight's Title. So Knight's Title is tribute 1 face-up Dark Magician, special summon 1 Dark Magician Knight from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So we'll move on to the traps very quickly now, guys. We run one copy of Nutrient Z. Useful trap card. This card can only be activated during your opponent's damage step. During this turn, if you take battle damage of 2,000 points or more, increase your life points by 4,000 points before the damage is subtracted from your life points. So it's incredibly good to maybe survive a big attack and give yourself that one more turn. We run one copy of Magical Hats. So Magical Hats is very, very cool. During your opponent's battle phase, choose 2 spell trap cards from your deck and 1 monster you control. Special summon as normal monsters in face down defense position, and pretty much your opponent tries to guess where your monster's hidden, pretty much. So it's pretty cool. Magical Hats is used so much times in the anime. I really like Magical Hats. Next up, we run one copy of the Mirror Force. So Mirror Force, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls. And to round off the deck, guys, we run one copy of Dark Renewal. So Dark Renewal is when your opponent normal or special summons a monster or monsters, target one of those monsters and 1 spellcaster type monster you control. Send both monsters to the graveyard, then you can special summon 1 dark spellcaster type monster from your deck or graveyard. So it's incredibly useful for getting rid of a monster of your opponent's and giving you a leg up on your opponent by getting another good card out. So really love putting that profile together, guys, for Yugi's Virtual World profile. Smash the like button, share with a friend, of course. We'll give you guys my favourite card. You can't go past the iconic Dark Magician for me in this profile. So that wraps it up, guys. Next profile will be Seto Kaiba's, and we'll see you then.